What started as a series of mysterious, unrelated deaths 48 hours ago has resulted in the biggest drug warning in U.S. history.
We're advising consumers, says the warning, not to use extra-strength Tylenol until a series of deaths in the Chicago area can be clarified.
When my mom died, she was 27. She had just given birth a few days before to my youngest brother. I clearly remembered like it was yesterday. I could still hear her breathing. I can still hear her trying to gasp for her breath. And then she just was shaking. We found out the next afternoon that she had been poisoned with cyanide.
We are 99% sure that the putting of cyanide in these capsules occurred after the materials got to Illinois, number one. Secondly, we don't know if we're dealing with a single madman or a group of crazies, a cult, if you will.
The theory of a madman going store to store had come out day one of the investigation, and that led the investigation to steer only in one direction.
If the madman in the retail establishment theory is pursued, Johnson & Johnson can step away and claim no responsibility. If the adulteration occurred during manufacture, during distribution, during repackaging, Johnson & Johnson would be liable, they would be sued, and they would lose big.
The thousands of Tylenol products removed from area stores are being taken to this Johnson & Johnson warehouse in Lamont, Illinois.
The FBI allowed the liable corporation to test the Tylenol. They only tested 1% of millions of bottles and destroyed the rest.
They weren't kept as the criminal evidence that they were just gotten rid of.
Johnson & Johnson should not have played a role in this investigation. This is a criminal matter. And as such, it should be treated as a criminal investigation.
This case has gone on and will continue to go on because it's in certain people's interests for it to go on in a certain way.
25 years after a murder case goes cold, you then have to unseal the documents.
I would just like to read the court records. I would just like to read the investigative record. I think after 30 years of investigation, 140 investigators, untold millions of dollars spent, I think the public deserves an answer.
This is part of big business. You know, this is a multi-billion-dollar business. They're going to do whatever it takes to cover it up, to keep it quiet.
I don't know if the crime itself will be solved. Right now, there's a bigger crime being committed, and it is the ability of corporations to hijack the justice system and keep the facts from the public.
If they unseal those documents, it'll prove that this happened in distribution, there is a liability against the corporation, and that nobody is safe from their products. I formed Cognizant Films to make a documentary about the 1982 Tylenol cyanide murders. For a top unsolved crime of the century, we should know more about what really happened. The media continues with the same old parroted story of some guy going store to store replacing Tylenol bottles. There's no evidence to support this, and nothing has progressed in over 30 years. Well, I'm about to change all of that. What the world needs is a new perspective. All that we've uncovered was solid research, days in the library reading old newspaper archives, filling out Freedom of Information Act forms to police stations, contacting as many people involved as we could, doing anything we can to figure this thing out. Well, we have figured this thing out. Documentaries take so much work and a lot of money to make it right. With your help and donations, I can get all of this out of my office and onto the screen. I've got the outline, endless interviewees planned, facts upon facts. I want to show this in the perfect light that it deserves. It starts here with you. If you can back me with even $1, I'm $1 closer to my goal. Let's end this myth together and get the real story out there. Thank you for watching this.